I bought three capture cards on Wish.com, USB 2.0, USB 3.0, and a console capture card. I probably got scammed, but let's find out together. Let's immediately open the cheapest capture card. This was, if I remember correctly, $7 or $8, which to be honest is kinda crazy. And this is just a straight copy of the Elgato Camlink. And to test this capture card, I connected an HDMI to this camera here, and I will connect all the cards here on the side. So now in OBS Studio, we can just add a video capture device to see the result. However, before doing that, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is Own.tv. Own.tv is a big graphics webshop for streamers with things like complete over group, way lower than I would expect. I will clap in my hands and I will clearly see the delay. Now I'm gonna put this mic on the side because I want to compare the capture card to this Elgato one, which costs around 130, I'm not sure. By the way, there are other options, but this is the only premium capture card I have lying around here. And to be honest, on the first look, the difference isn't as big as I expected. So now before checking out these other capture cards, I quickly want to test the gaming capture performance of this card here. Because games are completely different than this camera here, and they might give another result. So what I'm gonna do, since I don't own a console, is I'm gonna use that PC as a console. I'm gonna record a game here, then I'm gonna keep the footage playing, connect this HDMI to that PC, then connect the other side through one of these two capture cards into that PC. Since then we will be able to compare the exact same footage for these two cards. So as you can see here, I'm gonna record in 1080p 60 FPS, and I'm gonna record a few different things here, like shooting, maybe quickly looking around here, and clearly bring the details into the screen, because I think this combined with quickly looking around is where the difference will be between these cheap and expensive capture cards. Okay, so the recording is finished. It is playing on the screen right now, and it's also playing here on this PC through this capture card. And we will look at the final results in a minute, but this looks very decent. By the way, quick note, if you want to buy one of these and you don't want to wait a month on Wish.com, I will also look this up on Amazon and then add the links in the description. They will probably be a bit more expensive, but you will have them in a few days. So the recording is finished. Now it's time to test the Elgato one. So keep in mind, this costs more than 15 times the amount. So right now we are looking at the footage recorded by the $7 capture card from Wish.com, and this is the result of the Elgato Camlink. And overall, the footage of this cheap capture card looks pretty good. However, when we zoom in on specific elements, it's very clear that it's absolutely not sharp. When comparing it to the Elgato capture card, there's a very clear difference in details and sharpness, but I don't think that's unexpected when comparing a $7 capture card with a $130 card. Now, if you put the overall recording side by side, then the difference is less obvious, but it's still definitely there. Now, a common complaint I read online is that the colors look a bit too yellow and that the final footage looks kind of washed out. However, this can easily be improved with color grading. I made a preset for the grade you just saw, and you can easily install it in OBS Studio. In OBS, you simply right-click the capture card, go to Filters, then you add an effect filter and choose Apply LUT. Click on OK, then click on Browse here, go to your downloads, and then choose the LUT you just downloaded from my description. Now, one big downside of this Wish.com capture card is that it's 30 FPS and not 60. And that's why I also bought this capture card here, because it should be better quality and more FPS. Now, the price of this Wish card was higher than the other cheapest card, however it's still not close to something like a Camlink. I just did a bit of tweaking and this card is so much more impressive than the $7 one, it's actually crazy. I am so looking forward to testing this one, since it's clearly from the same people. Now, this here is the result of the $13 Wish.com card, the gray one, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Pay attention to the name of the gun on the bottom right, and I will switch to the other card in 3, 2, 1, now. Now, as you see, this is much more blurry and lower quality. And if you compare the details and sharpness of all three cards, it's very clear that the $7 Wish.com card was definitely decent for the price, but that the $13 card blows it out of the park. Same thing when you look at gameplay of the three side by side. So the thing I want to test now is the difference between the gray card, the $13 one, and then the Elgato Camlink, because it seems like they're not that different. So this here is footage of the gray Wish.com card. And then when we put the Elgato card next to it and zoom in a bit, the difference in quality is not that big. And the main reason they do look a bit different is the color, because as you can see here, the color of the Elgato one is definitely better and more natural. However, as you can see on this example here on the left, I created a color grade that makes them almost identical. The link to the color grade will also be in the description, and as you can see, when we compare the $13 Wish.com card to the original 1080p footage, it's almost the same thing, so this card is an amazing deal. I also found a few cards that are similar to this on Amazon, so you can get it quicker. I will link it in the description. One big downside of this card that you need to keep in mind is that the 1080p 60 FPS that's advertised doesn't work. It's either 1080p 30 FPS or 720p 60 FPS. This here is an example of the quality when recording in 720p, however you won't see the 60 FPS since this YouTube video is 30 FPS. And apparently the same thing counts for this card as well, however they are not lying on the package, they are saying that it's 1080p 30 Hz. The grey card on the other hand is actually false advertising. Now I looked at a lot of the gaming footage to test everything, and the 30 FPS didn't really bother me. There's a difference between gaming in 30 FPS or watching a game in 30 FPS. When you're moving your mouse or your controller and it's 30 FPS, then it's actually gonna feel like input lag, but when you're watching a game in 30 FPS, that doesn't really bother me. However, what definitely does bother me is